Hello and welcome to Technical Penguin. Today we're going to go over how to load test your batteries. I'll go over two methods. The first is how to load test them as a group while they're still in the mower, and the second is how to load test an individual battery with a load tester on the bench. For the first method, you're going to need a multimeter. If you have this style of multimeter, go ahead and set it for 200 volts DC. If you have this style of multimeter, you'll want to set it to volts, and then you'll want to hit the select button to switch over into DC. You'll also need a pair of two banana plug test leads. These are about 3.3 feet, 1 meter long. You'll go ahead and plug the black into the common on your multimeter and the red into wherever the capital V is. Okay? The other ends we're going to plug into the charge port on your mower. These happen to fit very well in those pins. So let's go ahead and do that. Before you start, make sure that your batteries are fully charged. And then you'll want to plug in this red test lead into the left side of the charge port and the black lead into the right side of the charge port. Okay, and now you can see on this battery, we're only getting 21.6 volts. The charger wouldn't even recognize this. So these batteries are definitely shot, and we're not going to load test this. But luckily, I happen to have another mower. I'm going to hook this up, and we're going to load test that other one. Now I'm in the driver's seat. I have the meter hooked up, and I have a timer set up on my phone for 5 minutes. Notice my voltage is above 52 volts. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the mower on, and my voltage is staying constant. If you have bad batteries, sometimes it will drop at this point. And next I'm going to pull up on the PTO switch. I'm going to run the blades for 5 minutes. If at any point the voltage goes below 49 volts, then your batteries failed the test. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull this up and then start the timer. So there you go. We saw a small drop in voltage, and you can see now that we turned the blades off, it's recovering. This is a lithium battery, so it's going to see less of a drop. If you're running lead acid, you could see a much larger drop, but if it goes below 49 volts, then that battery has failed. Before we go over bench load testing, let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, do you need to do it? The main reason to do a bench load test is to see if there's still life left in your batteries. The in-mower load test is a better indicator of if the batteries are serviceable for the mower. But even if they don't work for the mower, they may be useful for other purposes, such as electric fences or solar installations. So if you do a bench test, it can help you determine if you're going to try to sell your batteries as used or if you're going to just turn them in as scrap and get a credit at the auto parts store. Before you do a load test, you'll want to charge the batteries individually with a 12-volt charger. This is the one I use. I'll put a link in the description. And then you'll want to let the batteries rest a bit. Overnight is fine. And you'll want to do a load test with a regular voltmeter. If they are not measuring at least 13 volts, they have probably failed. If you've determined that you want to do a bench load test, but you don't have a load tester, there's a couple options. The first is you can buy an inexpensive one. This is the one I use. It's available on Amazon for about $20, sometimes less. It's fine. It works very well. But if this is the only time that you're going to use it, then another option is you can go to an auto parts store. Most auto parts stores offer free load testing of batteries. You will still need to fully charge the batteries before you bring them into the auto parts store for testing. Okay, so let's load test a battery. This is an inexpensive load tester available on Amazon. It's powered off the battery itself. To start, you attach the positive lead to the battery and then the negative lead to the battery. You can see here it shows the battery voltage. It also has a few menu items. We're going to go ahead and use the first menu item for check. So press enter to enter that menu. It gives you an in-vehicle or out-of-vehicle option. Go down to out-of-vehicle, and then you'll want to select AGM flat plate. It's the second option. Here we want number 5, cranking amps, CA. And I use the default. Now, while this will vary based on the size of the battery, using the default gives us a good baseline. And go ahead and press enter to start the test. The test just takes a few seconds, and you can see here the test is failing. It's only showing 36 amps. The state of health is 7%. The voltage should be above 13 volts for a fully charged 12-volt battery. Here you can see that at 12.43 volts, it's showing 79% state of charge. And this is the most important indicator. This is what I rely on to determine if a battery has failed. The value here listed just as R is the internal resistance of the battery. Here you can see it's 81.01 milliohms. The spec varies depending on the battery, and it's not published for all the stock batteries. But for the 100 amp hour battery, it is 4.9 milliohms, and for the 75 amp hour battery, it is 6.6 milliohms. Here you can see we are over 81 milliohms. Really, anything above single digits on any of the batteries intended for this mower is an indication that the battery has failed. Here's an image from a good battery test. You can see that the voltage under load is lower than 13, but that's expected because it's tested under load. And you can see the internal resistance is very close to spec and still in single digits. I hope you found this video useful. If you want more tips and tricks for your mower, be sure to check out technicalpenguin.net. And thanks for watching.